Hello and welcome back to episode 4 of the Let's Play for Frostpunk on the Edge expansion. Let's see where we left off. Lots of starving people. Yeah, that seems familiar. We had just kicked in overtime for our emergency shifts for the warehouse, and we are even using the cooldown for the wooden supports because we need iron and we need steam cores. Unfortunately, so it looks like with them both active, the steam cores did come up to 0.2, which is excellent. Or at least with this active. When I said both active, I'm thinking of is we had just done the research, or recently done the research for the elevators, which disappointingly had not raised steam cores up to 0.2. But it looks like the wooden supports put us over that edge. So that's good, and we're going to need that real soon for our machine here for mining coal. Also, we had our explorers reach Windy Beach. We had left behind survivors that we don't have jobs for anyway, and certainly don't have food for. And it looks like Windy Beach is not giving us anything. It turns out that there is no city in the hole. That they expected there would be a city in the hole, I guess. So let's see what they find. Ooh, Shattered Dreadnought. Those are always heavy with resources. Tesla City. I believe Tesla City was a location that we found in the base game and that we were able to set up an outpost for resources. But I want to hit the Shattered Dreadnought first. I mean, I know obviously that we want to establish connections with people. I don't feel like Tesla City is going to give us anything, or people-wise, trade post-wise. And I want to swing by the Shattered Dreadnought first because Dreadnoughts tend to be heavy in steel and possibly cores. So let's swing over there first. And get going. Okay, so the reason we went on emergency shift over here was because we need the steel to create a construction team. And that's kind of mission critical right now. So we're going to speed things up here a bit because it's nighttime. We have people getting sick and people getting better. And let's make our construction team. And we will send them down here to, in theory, send them down here to set up trade. We have food coming in just under 2 hours. Not going to be enough. 30 food. That's not even enough to feed everybody who's already hungry. So, yeah, we're not doing so well. These guys are coming back with 38 food, which is fantastic. Our big problem is going to be that this food's going to arrive. We have starving people who might consume the raw food quickly. And that's bad news for us. And that's going to arrive before work hour. I'm going to... yeah. Oh, so they ate some of it. I had to turn on the extended shift so that they would... see, look, they're... Okay, now they're cooking it. They're cooking it and it's getting eaten. So that's good. And now that it's past 8 o'clock, I'm going to take this off of extended shift. We need these to be working. This is good. We can see it on the heat map. Bunkhouse researched. Excellent. I think that we kind of decided that we need to get to tier 3. Well, we're not going to have the resources to do so. 50 more steel. I'm thinking maybe the coal mining optimization. we'll have to do for now. We're definitely, it's very unlikely we'll ever go with charcoal kiln. Salt upgrades are probably going to be unnecessary on this run. I would really like to have the healthcare installation. That would be nice. But for now, it's kind of a wash. This would eliminate my need to heat the healthcare. Versus the increase in mining. Now, the increase in mining is probably not going to bring in as much as I'm burning on the healthcare buildings at the moment, but this is constant in the sense that we know that there's going to be, the temperature is going to get better, and we're not going to need to run the furnaces. So let's get started. We have see, let's get in the red here. We need to immediately, that's the right button, we need to immediately get a coal mine up and running. Let's run it like this. This is really important because we don't want to run out of coal overnight, and it looks like we probably will. I've got enough workers for it, but I just need them to get there and build. Why do we only have 5 out of 10? Go and build! It's probably the sick counting against it. I don't want to have to steal from a building. We're also hurting for wood. This needs to be disassembled. I thought I had marked it for disassembly. Let's see what we found here. All we found are pieces of metal trapped in a thick layer of ice. That's kind of what we expected. Looks like some terrible force shattered a large metal structure here. I was hoping for steel and a steam core. A recycle asset that we see this in the base game. The picture, at least. USS Prometheus. This is all that remains of one of the dreadnoughts used to found Tesla City. So this is related to the other spot that we're going to go to. But let's grab up the steel and the wood. This was the expectation, was to bounce between them. And so we have, at least we have no longer even starving for the moment, but that includes, that's all the food having been eaten. These guys are going to get back too late for the cooking. Unless I put them back on overtime. The cooks are going to get irritated. Yeah, see, 40 an hour. This is why I don't normally have to put full set of workers in. So we're so hurting for steel. I'd like to build some bunkhouses, but it's just not a thing. And this is great that we have optimized coal mining, but we're really not in a situation where we can afford to do more research. I can't really be spending the steel. I need to be pushing. I really need to be pushing to make more deliveries so that I can get food. Or is there anything cheap I want to research? We're not using resource depots at the moment. We're not using gathering posts. I mean, I could just research the Coal Thumper while we're sitting here. I mean, it's not unreasonable to believe that we might end up using it. Give them something to do. That's the reason we kept this outpost, or this gathering post up here. So we can build a thumper nearby. Let's get a little bit of wood coming in, although everybody's sick. Fortunately, everybody's in treatment at least. Alright, so here is where we're outside of work hours. We need actual food. Oh no, they got an hour. So they can start cooking up that food. I mean, it's a one-shot deal, right? But that's that. So right now I don't have anywhere to send these guys. I'm just going to leave them idle. I don't think they eat food while they are part of a scout group. And it would cost me 40 wood to create them back into a scout group. So I'm just going to let it sit idle for now. Actually, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to send them out so that in case this location uncovers multiple locations, they'll already be on the way. There's no cost for my sending them, you know, food or any or discontent or hope or anything like that, aside from the opportunity cost of them hanging out in case an event springs up something new nearby. Let's go ahead and tear this down. I think the coal's going to carry us through. We're going to have to go through another day of 40 Celsius. Looks like they didn't manage to create all the food. Let's see here. Construction team has reached. Build outpost. Yes, please. Average favor, relationships, no shipments to send. I'm guessing this is going to tell us something when we come back. Sir, people rejoice at the news of the food deal with Hot Springs. Yeah, I'm pretty happy about it. We might still have to somehow return the favor, but we'll do it on our own terms. I don't really want to take that attitude. I will be happy to give as much as I can. Hopefully they want coal. Because that's the only resource I have coming in that I will be able to spare. Other people did a great job setting up trading depots so quickly. Now we can start helping each other. Yeah. Give us food, we'll help you. We are sending you our surplus of food, and we can give you more if you provide us some resources necessary to expand the settlement. Oh, happily. We'd be grateful if you could also assist us with improving our housing and health care. Sure. Fantastic. I don't really have one more thing, but I'm just curious. Okay, yeah, that's asking for help. I don't want to ask for help right now. I just want them to send us food. We're going to be in trouble on this. Oh my goodness, look at all that food! How soon? 10 hours? I got 20 hours left. We will feed the people! Okay, right. Our 24-hour shift has ended. This just came off of cooldown. I think we need more steel at the moment. Let's go ahead and switch that over. Because at least I have the 2 steam cores necessary to send to London. And I don't personally have a building that's requiring steam cores. So we'll just see. People are getting sick awfully quickly. That's not good. We are desperately low on coal, but we will have people getting to work. And I can probably help out a little bit here with discontent by slowing down my research. Mostly because we can't afford the research anyway. Yes, Tesla City once stood here, a testament of technology, human pride, and the power of nature. Written in silence and stillness. Well, that really took a turn. Food rations, though. All right, so this is kind of what I was I'm not gonna say anticipating, but I knew could happen, which is we'd see a new location, but our guys picked up something that we'd want to take back. So let's see here. The city founded by a genius inventor, once protected by some kind of electric dome, fell into complete ruin. The most valuable resources were taken out before the Great Storm, and now only packs of hungry rats roam the city. It may be worth searching the place again, but we must watch out, not just for the rats, but for anything really. The place looks too dangerous. So, the problem with this, in the base game, this was a random event, or a random outcome. There was, if you did this, you got all kinds of good stuff, or your people died. And it's just random. And if you left the place, it was you couldn't come back to it to search it later. So this is kind of a bogus. It's annoying, I guess. I don't mind that it's a random event. I mind that if I can't take my people who have a bunch of stuff on them, send them home, and then send a sacrificial party up here that, or not sacrificial, expendable, that don't risk losing additional resources. But I can't pass up 46 food. It's just, this right here is not an option. So let's hope. We got lucky. We survived and found valuable resources. Yay! And you guys are going home. So we're going to take these guys and we're going to shift them to Mirror Lake. And you guys are going to go wee all the way home. You know, and now that we have potential food intake, if these guys are going to regularly send us 60 food, 60 raw food, which that's 120 food, then we can expand our personnel count. Get those other survivors in here. The only thing with that is that we don't really have much of a work for them, you know? I mean, you know, we're under on the wood intake, but that could be addressed. Let's take these guys out. Put these guys in here. Resource-wise, we need to go to tier 3, but we just don't have a good wood income. And these would bring it in faster, but it doesn't give us more wood. And I'm not really so concerned about our rate of income as much as our availability of wood. Oh, that's all of our wood. So we can unlock tier 3, but then we wouldn't be able to afford anything on it. And if we're looking at tier 3, all we're going to see is this warehouse upgrade. I mean, these would be nice. This right here would be nice. Nothing, we're going to do at tier 3 for this. The heating is probably going to be very useful. You know, I want to check something I forgot about, which was that we built a brazier here, but I'm not confident that it's helping. See, it's not. All that's doing is warming the walkway. So we need to upgrade the heaters for this. But we are about to get some relief. We're going to go back up to 20C. Come right back down to 30, but we've operated in 30 just fine. And so we've got a few days before we're back at 40C. So it's risky, but I think I'm going to go ahead and make this jump. So we have the coal thumper we can make now if we really need to. We might end up needing to. I shut off this brazier, which is going to reduce our coal output consumption, and when the next morning rolls around, I'll be able to shut off some of these heaters, which will help out. Give us some breathing room to recover our food or our coal. We commend you for finding another settlement and making an initial contact. It's not you just. Well, who keeps telling them about this stuff? How are we? Have to remind you that all external connections and food distribution networks are to be handled directly from New London. Immediately assist contact with. No. No. Absolutely no. Absolutely no. Yeah, I agree with you guys. All right, they're bringing down the flag. Yeah, I want to break free. Sir, the people are rioting. They refuse to follow orders of New London. Yeah, I agree. I refuse as well. No more masters, chants the mob. Of course, I'd be in the mob. Wait a minute. This shouldn't be the picture of me. That better not be me in the middle, because I'm on their side. I've always been on their side. I'm not a master. I'm an administrator, director. A miner waves her mattock in the air. Bloody bastards, she shouts. They treat us like dirt, abuse our kids, and now they want us to give up our only hopeless rival? No way. People have dragged the office workers. Okay, that's fine. As long as it's not me. The office workers from the outpost administration to kick them out of the outpost as they stand. Should we intervene to let the clerks prepare for the journey? Yeah, I mean, they're just stooges. Honestly, I think we should offer them a home here and let them work for us. Yeah, we don't need to get into petty mob. Breaking free of New London is good enough for me. You know. I'm good with sending them away. But we don't need... You treacherous scum, your outpost is officially disbanded, and you will be tried for treason. You'll have to come... You have 3 weeks. I was going to say, wait, I can't lose. I mean, I can lose. I was afraid it was an ending. You have 3 weeks to convince us that you've changed your ways and wish to remain loyal citizens of New London. I don't. I don't wish to remain loyal citizens. After that, you'll be hauled back in manacles. This was New London speaking, over and out. Bugger off. Bugger off, buddies. You guys go home. I'm done with you. We will now be our own colony. Why did this spin around? Our people will be fed. So this was one of the things I was talking about previously about the scenario or the situations where an outcome, when there's an event that comes up and the choice that you take is a variable. So we had that earlier event where I could either build a medical post or I could, I think, treat all the sick. The medical outpost wasn't going to change. It was just one medical outpost. But if more people got sick, it became a moving bar. This is true for our current event, the facing starvation. That number keeps changing based on the hungry people. And so now it's down to this 4. But if people start getting hungry again, that number's going to go back up. So they need to hurry up and eat. Let's see what we have to see here. Seek help in Frostland. With communications cut, there is no way for us to walk back from the brink. I'm better off with it the way it is. Even if our people cool down and have second thoughts about the whole independence declaration, we can only prepare to confront what we must assume to be punitive expedition coming from New London. Which, I don't want to back down. They drove us here. Colonial rule. For this, we will need much more manpower and resources than we have. So let's try to find more people in Frostland. Maybe there are other settlements like Hot Springs. It's also worth asking them for help. Yeah, I mean, I'd rather set up a partnership with Hot Springs than go groveling back to New London. And it's talking about we can't turn back time. We should focus now on searching Frostland, which we just talked about. Yeah, no chance against New London. So that's I'm okay with this. Building a coalition to tell our former masters off. So hope rises, and we completed that. So I actually have a mission to ask Hot Springs for help. It seems like an odd thing, but we could now bring in more people for wood gathering and, if necessary, running coal thumpers. So we can do this. Deviate, grab these people, and bring them home with us. I know that it's a kind of a leap of faith because I don't know if we're going to keep getting 60 food every day from Hot Springs. If we can continue to get that kind of food from them, that's awesome. But they said it was their surplus. That's a lot of food for them to be growing every day. It's a little bit of a gamble. If I get 60 food a day, I can survive. If I have to keep treating them the way I treated New London by sending them regular resources that I don't really have a reliable income on, we're kind of boned. I mean, I'm all for sending them resources as we can afford it to help them expand. Let's go and escort these guys back. And from the sound of it, that would mean they would be able to grow their ability to create more food. So hopefully that's the case. Let's look out here again, because they said we need to look for more people. Oh, here we go. So we'll hit here, and depending on what comes off of this, we could divert down to the observatory ruins because it's a faster travel, and then pop up to this goods station, which is probably a warehouse out of New London that we will be stealing from and angering them. It's just the way it goes, right? So we have unemployed people. I'm not sure what they came from, but we can definitely use them. And now that I say that, I don't really need the survivors I just called in. But we can run a coal thumper. Right now we're doing fine on coal. bringing in more than we're using. But we're going to we're potentially going to make coal thumpers because we're going to have to do higher heat options. So let's kind of see what we got here. Radiator extensions. Extends the range, but doubles the coal use. That's a little rough. I mean, why not just build another brazier? Extend range by 50%, but twice as much coal. I can just build another brazier and have 2 heat zones. Doesn't seem like a good idea. Improved blowers. This, however, is nice because increasing the temperature by 2 levels, running 2 braziers side by side overlapping will not increase the overlapped area by 2 levels. Just being in range of something qualifies you for a benefit from that class of thing. So this will become very useful. We already know this will be useful. The problem with this, I guess equally to the improved blowers, is that there's no going back. If it gets warmer out, I can't turn the heaters down to level 1. So they will always output that kind of coal. So what else did we get at tier 3? We got better prosthetics, and by better it'll mean taking less resources. I still only have 1 amputated person. I'm not going to sweat it. And I also forgot, now that we're liberated from London, maybe we can set our own laws. We'll check that in a moment. Steam coal mine is going to take an additional steam core, but it will effectively double our output. More than double our output for the same amount of people. So you can see how powerful the steam cores are, and that's great. So the problem with using the coal thumper is that it puts the coal outside, and then you have to use a gatherer or whatnot, and people get exposed to the cold. And this, of course, is going to be very nice because it's passive heating. I really want to get down to here, but this is expensive. And tier 3, we can get up to the houses, which we haven't even built our other things yet. We're about to get 1-day reprieve of tropical weather. Our laws are still locked. Yeah, New London shouldn't have to sign these laws. So steam coal steam coal mining. That's not a lot of wood. We have the surplus steel for the moment. I think we do it. It feels like a bit of a leap, but I think for now we do it. I don't want to get too anxious with my steel usage because I think we're going to have to... Oh, what do we have here? Oh, a bunch of new stuff. I feel like we're going to have to... Oh, they want wood and steel. Oh my goodness, no. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have brought back the survivors. And we are desperate for wood. So let's... I'm sorry, guys. We need wood. Three in treatment, 2 are eating. I mean, we're at the end of the day anyway. We're not going to see much more. I'm going to keep stockpiling steel. I'd wish they had asked for coal and steel because I know where to get that stuff from. We don't have any options for more scouts until tier 4. I don't see us getting to a point where we have 3 scout teams running. Just by the time we get to that technology, the current scouts are going to be They're going to have explored mostly everything. Are we free? I feel like we are. Now that New London no longer controls our affairs, many of our people say that they feel free for the first time in their lives. I mean, they sent us our kids, right? We don't have anything back there. True, we lost our guidance and support, but we gained our independence. We just need Betsy Ross to make us a flag. We don't have to do their bidding. That doesn't even make sense. We don't have to do their bidding, ask permission to cook soup. That's a poorly constructed sentence. I think there's a 2 missing from there. We can pass our own laws and decide what to do. Yes. There's a petition to change the name of our settlements so we no longer are an outpost. I'm not, if I'm angering London, I don't care. Let's do it. Sheffield in the hole. I'm not sure that quite suits me. No. How about, history repeating itself? Let's go with something apropos. Independence Hall. Or maybe you should call it Independence Hole. Why not, right? Let's do it. That should send them a solid message. And we can set laws now. So this is excellent. And so we'll go over a few of these real quick. I think we're running up on our 45-minute mark as it is. And it seems like a good place to stop for this episode. But let's run over these real quick. So unfortunately, they did manage to force us into the radical treatment. Cemetery is a standard one. So the ceremonial funerals is what I would normally take anyway. I don't remember what the other side of the cemetery is that would lead to organ transplants, but I don't. This is always the path I took anyway. This basically, reduces the amount of hope caused by deaths. Loss of hope. Right now, people aren't dying off. We're fairly stable at the moment, so I'm not worried about that at the moment. Care house is real nice. People who are gravely ill and can't work, like the amputees, stay there. I believe the amputees stay there. But they don't eat as much food, which is great. And it's plenty of space, and I think it's actually warmer than other things. But that really goes well with the other option rather than the radical treatment, because before care houses, if we took the other one, all the gravely ill people are put in the medical posts and just cared for. Their limbs aren't lobbed off, and that allows us to move them to the care house until hopefully they get better without mangling them and without them taking up space, reduces the food cost. But now we're really not going to see that because we're cutting them up. Extra rations for the ill sounds fairly straightforward, right? It's you have an option to spend more food to reduce recovery time, which is normally great in the base game, but food is so rare in this game. It's such a precious resource that I don't see that being a thing, at least immediately. Also, if we can get ahead of our heating needs, we should be able to keep our sick population down. We also have more people coming more survivors coming that we're going to have spares anyway. Overcrowding, you can kind of guess that. You can stuff twice as many people in the medical facilities, but it makes people unhappy. I don't think it's going to be necessary. We have enough posts, at least for now. If things go south, then we'll revisit that option. Usually I go for extra rations. Food additives. This is something that I don't care for. We can add sawdust to meals to make them more filling. That doesn't seem like a good idea. Hope will fall, discontent will rise, some people will get sick. That's not a good idea. Soup, on the other hand, is great. We can cook soup instead of full meals. to feed more people the same amount of food. That's great. Yeah, hope falls a little bit, but hope's usually pretty high. Discontent will rise. The only problem is that they will become discontent when they eat soup. It's still usually not a big impact, and we can shut it off. I assume the same with food additives, but this will make our food go further. The fighting arena is one of the things that we can build. Evening bouts reduce discontent, so kind of to mid-game, we'll start looking at laws like this to mitigate the growing discontent or mitigate the waning hope stats. Both of them are being managed all right for now, so this isn't a priority. And then we have child labor, which I mentioned in a previous episode that it could be a thing. I don't really support child labor, even in the game. So I tend to not go this way. There are better options anyway. So like we can create shelters for the children, and that takes some burden off of our housing. And then later we can give safe child jobs where they become little helpers, which is really nice. I mean, I know this one here says safe jobs, but so typically this is a little different from the core game. Normally, if you don't go with the all jobs, you have two options here. One of which is child labor, where they help out in the medical facilities, and then the other one is apprentice engineer, which is what I typically end up going for. But they're both safe jobs. They're places where they're not going to get injured. They're just helpers. They're not out. So all jobs, which normally is this, means I can send them out in the cold to pick up coal off the ground. And I'm not going to do that. But for now, soup, because food. We need food. And they won't be thrilled about it, but we can manage these. And we're going to immediately... Okay, it already turned itself over. So 5 food rations for 2 food as opposed to 4. That really adds up. That's a big deal. And we can live with it. That's all right. So we've chosen our first law. I'm not going to say we've handled our food crisis. Well, we've handled the food crisis, but we don't have stable food yet. Largely because we don't have the wood to send to our new friends. We'll work on that soon. But we've got some reprieve on our food. We've passed our first law. We've liberated ourselves from New London. We've got our coal up and running. I think we're at a much more solid place than we were at the beginning of the episode. And, and our steel is our own. We're able to focus on steel instead of steel and steam cores. I'm sure it's going to come back to bite us. At some point, I'm going to need to switch this over because New London's going to come knocking, and we might probably have to bribe them with steam cores. Or we might find new friends who want steam cores. They're so valuable. But for now, we got to get our steel piled up. So we're going to stop here for now, and we will resume next time on episode 5. So thank you very much for joining me on this, and I hope everyone's enjoying this. Please feel free to leave comments, and well, I'll see you again on the next episode.